Welcome back to another Sunday Walk video. Obviously, I think most of you guys watching this know what has happened earlier today. The crypto market, including Bitcoin, is in rally mode. Bitcoin is up over 10%, above 94,000 right now. And you know what? In a few hours, Asia is going to be waking up and the markets will open. And I have a feeling that Asia is not going to be selling off this time. I think Asia is going to FOMO in just like America did today. So we'll see. But yeah, Bitcoin is up over 10%. That's Bitcoin. And then you have some that I already talked about in my crypto cruise earlier today, like ADA, Cardano, up over 60%. XRP up like close to 40%. You got Sol that's up like 25, close to 30%, and many others that have come up double digits today, right? In case you have been living under a rock, the reason why is because Trump decided to make a few posts this morning on Truth Social. And he talked about how it's time to implement those reserves. Well, the first one was the Bitcoin reserve, right, that we haven't heard a lot about since his election. So it's been a while. A lot of crypto people are wondering if it's ever going to come. But today he made a big splash about creating a crypto reserve and filling it with Cardano, Ripple, and Solana. Then he followed it up with another post saying that of course Bitcoin and Ethereum will be in there. So obviously all great things, but he also left it open, saying there will be other crypto assets that will be part of the crypto reserve. So that's new. Okay, so he's not closing the doors on just these five, even though these five are the ones that are the ones I've been talking about, the ones that have the most traction, the ones that have the greatest fundamentals, right? But there are many more. Obviously, you guys know there are thousands of great alts out there and millions of alts in total, but I do think there are a lot out there that are still very let's say oversold, undervalued, and because there's this open door, I don't know if you call it open door policy, but this new whatever Trump did in terms of opening doors of adding more crypto to this reserve, right? I do think there will be a lot more projects that will be added in the future once it's created. So I told you guys in my crypto cruise video tonight, I was going to focus on that. I have 4 projects in mind that I think are very likely candidates to this crypto reserve. I think it's almost for sure that at some point in time, these 4 will be added. It could be maybe not in the order I'm saying it, or maybe it's just like a few out of the 4 that'll be added immediately and a few later on. So I'll give you 4, and then I'm going to list a few more wild cards that I think could happen, but it's an off chance that they'll be added. Well, let's concentrate on the 4 first. Okay, number 1. What is the first one I'll talk about? It's going to be Hedera. I focused on plenty over the last few months. And in terms of fundamentals, there are a lot of great things. Actually, in fact, just a few days ago, it was announced that they're working with Swift. And Swift is going to pilot their messaging system on the Hedera network across the world. That's a huge thing. It's a very huge thing. So Hedera actually did quite well a couple days ago because of this news. Obviously, that's a big deal. But also Hedera itself, they've been brought up before because they're what I consider one of the big four. And what does that mean? Well, one of the four projects that really started pumping when Trump got elected, and it's because they fit three criteria. And they are: one, American based; two, listed on Coinbase; three, ISO compliant. That's a big thing. And Hedera hits all those. And four, we have seen Hedera actually, being talked about, like having partnerships with the other projects in the big four. Also, talking with Doge and the current administration on a few things. For example, a digital ID system, a digital voting system. I don't know how far the conversation went, but it was brought up very early on that Hedera was considered for those things, along with Cardano. So a lot of great things happening. Now, in terms of dApps and volume, still kind of light with Hedera. But I know they're trying to make a big splash. They're trying to support their ecosystem as much as possible. They're even going to support I think overall they're just going to support everything. I think now is the time. So I think they're going to be supporting, and they have a lot of funds and grants too, right, to draw in new dApp makers. But I think they're going to be supporting their own. Obviously, you guys know I'm closely associated with Karate Combat because of the IFC, the Influencer Fight Club, and that is on top of Hedera. So I think there are a lot of great things, and the Swift thing could be huge, right? So I think Hedera is definitely a prime candidate to be added into the reserve. I think it's a no-brainer. At some point in time, I think they will be added because they just hit all the, they check all the check boxes, and yeah, I think, and they're doing quite well. They're obviously, they've sold off from their previous peak, but they recovered greatly today. So yeah, that's number one. I think Hedera is definitely going to be considered. Number two, I definitely think Chainlink. Chainlink is a big one. Chainlink is a huge one. Chainlink, the fundamentals of Chainlink is just outrageously good. If Chainlink itself stopped operating, almost every DeFi project on the planet would stop working, because it's the most decentralized oracle we have, the biggest that we have, and almost every DeFi project, any project that needs a price feed, literally gets it from Chainlink. That's how important it is. It's so undervalued if you think about that. Projects have tried to hack them before, or hackers, I should say, not projects, and they have successfully defended themselves, defended themselves for, many times, and they've proven themselves that their oracle network is very robust and reliable and trustworthy. But besides that, Chainlink, they have their CCIP, which is like an interconnectivity layer. It's almost like a giant bridge, because they're so connected to so many chains and dApps. That's what CCIP is. It's really, if you think about it, just the giant bridge for liquidity and messaging across multiple chains and hundreds of dApps. Plus, Chainlink is also, not just for the Web3 world. They work with a lot of the Web2 companies like banks and financial institutions for the same reasons, for price feeds. And they are involved with RWA as well. So fundamentally, Chainlink is awesome. And also, what's great is, the other company Trump is somewhat associated with, World Liberty Financial, they loaded up on Chainlink, so that tells you something. So obviously those founders also recognize how good Chainlink is. And Chainlink fits the other criteria too that Hedera does. US based, listed on Coinbase, and they are ISO compliant, which a lot of people don't realize. So I think Chainlink is definitely a candidate for the crypto reserve as well. It just makes a whole lot of sense. Chainlink is not a very sexy project. It tends to move slow, but they've held their ground. They're in the top 20 on CMC. They're like neck to neck with Hedera. So I think they're gonna be they're a serious contender for sure. I think they will be listed in the crypto reserve sometime in the future. All right, so those are two. The next two, again, projects I've talked about before, a no-brainer. The next two, I do believe, are going to be Avalanche and Sui. So first things first, both of these projects are based in the US. Obviously, for crypto reserve in the US, I think all the projects within are going to be US based. Both on Coinbase. So, good. Are they ISO compliant? They didn't come out and say they are, but this whole compliance thing is kind of loose. I mean, interpretation is loose because basically the change is certify whether or not they're following it. But ISO, whatever the associates ISO agency or whatever, doesn't really certify if the chains have certified themselves. So technically speaking, both of these chains, Avalanche, Sui, can be ISO compliant. They just haven't said it yet. But they probably will at some point. Now Avalanche is heavily focused on games, and you know what, Sui to be, now I'm thinking about also heavily on game. Both of these are heavily focused on games. Avalanche also is involved with RWA, involved with memes, involved with financial institutions. I mean, AI, they're all over the place. Okay, so they are involved with many things, but mostly games, which is why they haven't been as hot as the others. Now, the founders of Avalanche, I know that they've also tweeted out before they have ties with the administration. They're working with them, so that's great. But I think overall, Avalanche, one of the top projects in 2021, they're definitely working and building, and I think they have what it takes to succeed. And I think they're going to be, they're a good candidate for the crypto reserve. The same to a Sui. Sui is relatively newer than Avalanche and the others, but they're the same thing. The founders are actually ex-Facebook guys. So maybe that helps them, because Mark Zuckerberg and Meta, they've been getting really close with Trump, right? So there may be something there where ex-Facebook guys have an advantage. So Sui is created by ex-Facebook crypto people, and they had a tremendous run in 2024, and they slowed down in 2025, but I know that they're really pushing forward. Their TVL and their growth is outstanding, and they're also embracing the meme culture too, even more so than Avalanche, and I think that's going to help them this cycle. So yeah, the next one is SUI, right? So the 4, Hedera, Chainlink, Avalanche, SUI. I think these are all great projects, ones I've talked about and supported for a long time. And I think once the crypto reserve gets built and the US starts buying into the first 5 that they talked about, that Trump talked about, I think these 4 could be next. Now, outside of these 4, I said I'll go give you guys 2 more, right? I'm just going to speculate. Since I mentioned about SUI having ex-Facebook guys, I'm just going to throw this out there. Aptos also. Some of the people from Facebook went and created SUI. Some created Aptos. They're similar in many ways. They use the same kind of programming language called Move. But Aptos is another one. Now, I don't know if they have as much traction as, say, SUI. Seems like they don't, but they're still big. I've seen them around, and I know they're trying to make big moves, trying to, again, give out a lot of grants, bring in projects, and really evolve. So Aptos is another L1, and it's based in the US, Silicon Valley. They're another one that could be. Just throwing that out there. In addition, I think a few DEXs could be added. Now that SEC is not targeting decentralized protocols, I think DEXs could be quite important going forward, especially, you know, we just went through a Bybit hack. They're still, even though Bybit did everything perfectly, and no loss of funds, and they recovered and compensating and all that stuff, right? I think DEXs are still going to be important, especially for the meme culture, for the degens, and for people that simply don't trust sexes. So the 2 that come to mind, of course, are Uniswap, which is based in the US, and Radium. I believe I'm not 100% sure where Radium's out of, but it could be in the US as well. But Uniswap makes a whole lot of sense because, you know, they support so many chains like Ethereum and many other, like the L2s and even Base. So, I mean, Uniswap, I think is a candidate. And I think Radium also because, of course, because Solana and the memes and so forth. Keep in mind, Trump coin is on Solana, and the LP's on Radium, Melania, and all the other memes on Sol. All the LPs on Radium. They are killing it. Even though I love Jupiter, Jupiter's DEX aggregator pulling the liquidity from Radium. So I think Radium could also be another candidate if DEXs starts getting added. I just don't know if Radium is based in the US. I should have looked that up before I created this video, but if they are, that would be perfect. But I think Uniswap is definitely another candidate as well. And lastly, I'll just throw out 2 more because we do have ETFs also. And almost every single one that was already, you know, posted by Trump, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, they have their ETFs, right? And then XRP, Cardano, Solana, they're going to get their ETFs. So I think ETFs also can help. And there are 2 more that have pending applications. One is Doge, and one is Litecoin. They're both forks. Doge is a fork of Litecoin, and Litecoin is a fork of Bitcoin. I'm neutral on both. I just feel like Bitcoin is a better buy. Yes, I'm not the biggest fan of Litecoin. I'm not going to go into the history and stuff, but I'll just say this. For me, I just much rather buy Bitcoin than Litecoin. But I got to give them recognition because they do have ETFs pending, ETF application pending, and they are based in the US, like as second oldest crypto, and they're on Coinbase. So there could be a chance that Litecoin gets added to the strategic reserve as well. And same thing with Doge. Doge is a meme, but guess what? Elon loves Doge, and guess who Trump loves? Elon. So I think there could be a chance that Doge also gets added to strategic reserve. I think there's a great chance of that, especially if Doge gets, more popular and gets more widely accepted. Let's say Elon accepts Doge for Teslas or something like that. I think they can, or Doge could be added as well. So, all right, guys, that is it. I listed a whole lot for you guys. It's an exciting time. Let's see what happens with Asia. Are they going to FOMO in? I have a feeling they will, but we'll see. I think if they FOMO in, Europe when they open will FOMO in, and tomorrow when Wall Street opens, they will FOMO in. MicroStrategy has been down. Same thing with Coinbase and so many others. ETF outflows have been massive. I think after today's announcement, things could turn around in a big way this week. And if Wall Street starts FOMOing in a big way and buying back everything they sold, well, then Bitcoin is on its way back to $100,000. And we haven't seen that for a while. So, all right, guys, that is it. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow, usual time, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.